Welcome to Garden Tours video number 1. Let's take a look around. Okay, it's September 27th, 2001. We're here on the South Garden. And as you can see, the garden looks like a little bit of a mess right now. This bed here was some Roma tomatoes. I took those out and I've replanted some dill in there. I haven't been able to cover it yet. As you can see, maybe cats are already walking in there. Pain in the butt. And then over here in this bed, I planted some lettuce, but as you can tell, it's not very many lettuce in there. It was a complete failure on that pack of seeds, so I had to buy another one and plant some more in there. So hopefully they'll come up. And this bed over here is a raised bed we made out of concrete. I'll try to make a video about that separately. But I had some cucumbers in there and took those out. And there was one extra broccoli plant that I had in there, and I figured I'd give that a chance to go all the way. So I haven't done anything with this bed yet, but once that's done, I'll put some garlic in here. And that'll be a garlic bed. And this is a mess of a strawberry bed, as you can tell. I haven't dug those up yet, but I'll get to that shortly. Over here is my compost bin, which I decided to put some zucchini in, and they've been growing like gangbusters. So that's the South Garden. Okay, here's a view of my front field garden. There's a lot here, so much so I had to write everything down in a spreadsheet because I keep forgetting what I plant. But starting from over here and working our way down, we have our compost box, and then next to that is the cilantro and cilantro. And the next row here, we have some turnips, then beets, then kohlrabi. And here I have my green peppers. And then kale and romas, which I have to get rid of all those shortly. And in this next row here, we have some broccoli, then cauliflower, then kale. And the next row over here, we have cabbage, then bok choy, which I need to take that up as well, and then some broccoli. Over here we had some banana peppers that did really well, followed by broccoli, and then we have the big mortgage lifter tomatoes over there that I have to get rid of those soon too. And then the last row over here, we have some more broccoli, and another thing of tomatoes. And next I'll show you that fenced in area over there where I have all the fruit. Okay, this is my bamboo fenced-in area here that I made from bamboo and lashings. And I decided to turn this into a food forest, so to speak, with fruits and trees. I'll start off over here. This is kind of a tangled mess, but there's some grapes down there, and then there's some thornless blackberries that are working their way down those lines there. If I scroll over here, here's some everberry raspberries. I need to put some kind of post up there so they can grow up that. And over here I have my apple trees. They're very small. And as you can see, that one there, nothing's growing on that one. I think that might have been a dud. Over here is a teeny tiny Honeycrisp apple tree that I grew from seeds, following what David the Good had on one of his videos. And there's another one. Something's been eating that one. And over here, this is a grapevine that I got from my aunt's house. She planted hers about 60 years ago, and I took some clippings, and now they look like they're doing pretty well. So hopefully they'll follow all the way along that trellis system there. And over here I have a fig tree, which is about 6 feet tall right now. I cut the top already, pruned it. It was only about 6 inches tall this spring when I planted it. And over here in this mess, there were 4 blueberry bushes that I planted. And then there's another grapevine that didn't make it. And here's another everberry raspberry plant. So this is the start of my food forest area here. As you can tell, it's a mess. There's so many weeds and stuff around here. It got away from me. But I'm excited about it. Okay, so this is the last area of my front field garden. Here is a row that I put a trellis up, and I planted some Roma tomatoes and some carrots along the bottom. This is the first time I've actually done a garden where I put down cardboard and then put the soil on top of it, and it's worked pretty well. My favorite is raised bed gardens, but I'm getting used to this style. And here was another row where I had cucumbers. I've already taken those down. And this row here was a row I just started recently. I put some broccoli in there, and I've already taken some of them up. A lot of bug damage though, even though I put a tarp over this row here. And then there's this last row here that I didn't do anything with yet. I haven't finished putting the soil down. But in any event, in a month or two, I'll go ahead and plant garlic in these two rows. And I'm not sure what I'll do with that. Those rows there. And then last but not least, here's a little raised bed, experimental raised bed I created, which as you can tell, it's got a whole bunch of weeds in it. This is for stuff that I've never grown before, so I'll just try those new plants in this bed here. I've never grown black-eyed peas before, so I decided to grow that here. The watermelon didn't take. Had a terrible time with the watermelon, and I had an extra tomato plant over there which is gone to hell, which I need to weed this whole area. But that's basically it. That's my front field garden. Just real quickly, I wanted to show on the outside of my fenced-in area here, I had like 13 extra tomato plants, and what I decided to do was to see how well they would grow just by basically digging a hole that was as big as the 3 by 3 inch by 3 inch pots that they come in, and the starter plants. So I basically only dug a 3 by 3 hole in the ground just as deep as the container and plopped them in there and didn't do anything else with them, and as you can tell, they grew quite well. Not as much yield as the raised beds, but I was happy with it considering I didn't do anything with it. I didn't add anything to it. No extra soil, not a deep hole or anything like that. So you can grow anywhere. Just plant, as they say. Here's a peek under the row covers that I have. Here's I'm growing some broccoli. And these row covers do a great job of keeping the bugs at bay. It's not 100%, but it keeps them away enough to where you can get the broccoli heads without the caterpillars totally destroying these things. And that's all I do. Every week or so I'll come over here and take these little clamps off and then flip the sheet over to one side, take a look, pick off any bugs that I see, weed it a little bit, and then after I'm done I'll just go ahead and take the tarp over and connect those clamps again, and we're all set. So I love the way these tarps work, and I love the look of them as well. And this is the Bok Choy that I grew this year for the first time. It's really got a great taste. I'm loving it, and I'm definitely going to plant more next season. And I'm letting a couple of them go to seed so I can save some seeds just in case. And I wanted to show you this bed. Here's an example of how I use the metal hoops and the row covers, and I can grow whatever I want underneath those. And let's say I'm growing tomatoes, and the tomatoes will eventually get too high, and at that point I'll just take the cover off, and on the outside of the beds I have the T-posts with the strings across. So that's an interesting way where you can use both T-posts and trellising and the row covers in combination. Works really well. And here's a picture of the watering system that I got from Haas Tools. I decided I wanted to just test how these automatic watering systems go, so I went ahead and put a line all the way down and some drip tapes into the beds. I do like it, but I don't like how long it takes to water these things with the drip lines, being on a well. But yeah, it was neat just to get the experience under my belt. And I have another line here in case I wanted to come this way further. So yeah, it's neat learning how to do these watering systems. So that's it for the tour, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.